that you don't own a stereo, but you like all my favorite bands. I don't have a clue how to say your name. You tell me it's all part of the plan. I can't understand everything you say, but you tell me that you're mine. I don't do nothing but waste your day, still you call me all the time. Turn on your transistor radio just to see who's still alive. No more checks in the mail.
Hey everyone, today I'm here with a review and demo of the Hera UV Mist Cushion. I am in shade C23, C stands for coverage, and 23 is meant for people with yellow undertones. If you have pink undertones, then get 21. I am a little bit sick, so that's why I sound really stuffy. So if I'm sniffling throughout this video, then that's pretty much the reason why. But basically, I purchased this from Peach and Lily for $45, but this comes with a refill. So essentially, you get twice the amount of product that you think you would get, which is really good. And each one has a shelf life of 12 months after you open it, so you can use it for a pretty long time if you ask me. So this cushion has SPF 50+, PA+++, which means it has pretty good SPF protection. I think I gotta sneeze. Or maybe not. Maybe I don't. Okay. Yeah, so you get pretty good SPF protection from this. It also acts as foundation. Of course, it is a cushion foundation and will give you sheer coverage. It'll give you sheer to light coverage if that, because it doesn't quite get medium. Well, kind of medium. Sheer to sheer medium coverage. Not medium, but almost medium, depending on how you layer it. It also has whitening and cooling effects, so that way you won't feel like as hot, I guess. So during like the warmer months, you'll feel a bit cooler than what you would otherwise, is what it claims to have. It also contains clay mineral water instead of regular water, which is supposed to help with the cooling effect, excess sebum control, as well as moisten the skin. So it's supposed to work well for all skin types, judging from its purpose and what's in it. So, you know, it's supposed to help control sebum as well as moisturize the skin, which it's a pretty big claim if you ask me. It's also supposed to give you lustrous, dewy skin, which I think they do a pretty good job at. I'm not wearing any highlighter. I have like a tad bit on my nose and my brow bone, and of course my inner corners, and the teeny bit on my cupid's bow, but other than that, I am not wearing highlighter at all. I noticed that whenever I wear these, these dewy cushions, like, I don't wear highlighter at all because it gives you this really great radiant look. So you can already tell that at one point I do like it for one of the points. So let's just go ahead and get into this review. Alright, so as said, it does have sheer to sheer medium coverage. It doesn't quite have medium coverage, so whenever you wear it, you will have to conceal your blemishes beforehand. And make sure you use a concealer that does stick relatively well, because with the nature of this product, you will be patting on and off. You'll be like stippling the product on, which means that there's potential for it to take off the concealer that you put on beforehand. If you want, you can go ahead and apply the cushion first, put on concealer, and then apply another thin layer on top of it, so that way it blends in well. But pretty much I do recommend you conceal your blemishes when using this, especially if you prefer that type of coverage. Okay. This also has a beautiful dewy finish, which I really love. Definitely like one of the highlights of this product. One thing is that they don't have very many shades. They just have the two shades, 21 and 23, but they do have like a natural or in coverage. So natural is a lot more sheer than this one. This one is coverage. So you get to choose how much coverage you want between the 2 shades that they have available, which is really unfortunate that they only have 2 shades, but I guess it's the nature of the brand and just the product itself, especially coming from like South Korea and everything like that. This feels really nice and lightweight on the skin. I really love the way it feels on the skin. It's so breathable, and it's a really fresh look, which I really like, which is also in part to the dewiness of the product. It does have a pretty good wear time. I find that it wears really well throughout the day, and what I do is I actually wear this a lot to work. So I waitress at the restaurant around 6 p.m. at night, and then I get off around like 10:30, and then I go to my other waitressing. I go to my other job, my other weekend job, which is until about like 3 or 4 in the morning. I'm like a night owl, which is terrible, but I'm a night owl. But I find that this wears really well throughout both of my shifts and throughout the night. You know, you're out at night and you might be sweating a little bit because you're like rushing around, like trying to get to people like, hey, here's your food, you know. But it wears really well throughout the night, and I really love it. I love the way it wears. I don't have to touch up. The only times I have to touch up is whenever I like blow my nose, because I'm always blowing my nose, and especially right now that I'm sick, I'm gonna be blowing my nose like crazy. But I don't necessarily like always have to touch up too much, which is really great. Another way with how it wears, it doesn't exactly crease too much. Of course, as I said multiple times, but I will continue saying because not everyone has like watched all of my videos, but I do crease a lot around my laugh lines because I'm always like smiling and they're just like deep set, like they are in there. So this does crease a little bit along my laugh lines, but not too much, especially since this formula is so thin. It's really thin and lightweight, and because of that it doesn't crease too much around my laugh lines, which is great. It doesn't crease too much around my eye bags either, which is also really great. And even when it does, it doesn't look too bad. Like, you know how sometimes when you wear some foundations, like it creases and it looks bad, but this one doesn't, which is great. It creases gracefully, I guess, if that's a thing. And with this, especially now that it's in the drier months, I really like how it feels on the skin. As someone with combination skin, it works really well for my dry areas. It does also work well enough for my oily areas. I don't have to powder too much, but I don't produce that much oil either around my forehead. And it's only around my forehead that I get a little bit of oil. Other than that, like, I feel like it does work well for all skin types. I don't know how it would work for super oily people, but so long as you have like a mattifying primer on, then you should be perfectly fine. If you have extremely dry, patchy skin, I can see this working a lot better than the Misha in Magic Cushion. I do have like hormonal acne right here. I have like one right there. It's at that point where it's just like dried itself out, so there is like a little crust of dry skin around it, which sounds really gross, but it does help me, you know, decide how it would work for all skin types. And with how it is, like with the nature of it, I feel like it would work well enough for people with patchy skin, dry patchy skin. If you just have like dry, dehydrated skin, this would work well for you. But if you have patchy skin, you may need a little bit of smoothing out, but other than that, I feel like this would work really well. I also feel this would work really well for people with mature skin and people with textured skin, because it doesn't exactly emphasize them too much, which is awesome, which is great. As far as like the cooling effects, I don't know if I've exactly experienced that since it's been like cold and dry, so I don't really know. I don't know if that works the way it should. So maybe when it starts to get much warmer, then I'll know how that works, the cooling effects, see how it feels, you know, maybe test it out with something else as well. But so far in these dry months, like, it's worked really well to keep my skin feeling great and moisturized, hydrated, you know, not too dry or anything like that. It's also, it's just, let me tell you though, like, this glow is, yes. Like, this has like one of the most beautiful like dewy looks that I've experienced. Like, pretty much like whenever I reach for one of my cushion foundations, like this is the one that I reach for. And I think this is quickly becoming like one of my favorite ones. Okay, so one thing to note is that it does contain some silicones, sunflower seed oil, and as well as vitamin E. So if you're allergic to any of those, then I don't recommend this product for you. Just be sure to research online ingredients to make sure that this is something that will work fine for you. But other than that, like, I highly recommend this cushion foundation. It's definitely like one of my favorites. Favorite. One thing is that, like I said, it is really light for NC20 skin, so make sure that you bronze around like your hairline and just like the frame of your face. I use another foundation to do that, so that way it will look decent. Oh my gosh, my hair. So that way it will look decent, but other than that, I think it looks really, really beautiful. Like, I definitely recommend this product for anyone and everyone of all skin types. Of course, there are shade limitations, but if you can make it work, make it possible, then definitely check it out. I will link down below where I purchased it, so that way you can have a chance and you can just click. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this review and demo. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye.